Hey everyone, I hope you had a great day. This is a safe space and a safe, calm channel where I give advice on self-improvement, and today I want to talk about overcoming overthinking. So what I learned is that there are different types of overthinking that we can face. So sometimes we find ourselves ruminating on the past, or struggling to forgive ourselves, or struggling to forgive another person, and we're constantly just thinking and thinking and thinking of what we could have said or what we could have done. Then sometimes we overthink right in the moment, like we overthink a situation. Someone is upset with us, someone's not happy with what you did, with what you said, and we start spiraling and assuming that we're a bad person for saying something or for making a mistake. And then there's other times when we overthink about the future, right? We think about what's next, what's the next plan, what will happen tomorrow, how will I get through this, what can I do to get through this, and we start sort of like ruminating about all these things. So the first step that I'm going to teach you that actually helped me a lot is to first of all recognize that you are overthinking in the first place. The first step to ever solving any problem is to know that there's a problem to begin with. So if we know, okay, I struggle with overthinking, now what am I going to do next? How can I get through this? So when you find yourself overthinking, I want you to really write it down. Take a piece of paper or pull up your notes app on your phone and literally write down what you're overthinking about. Write down exactly word for word what your thoughts are saying, and then you can read it back. Take a step back and then read what you wrote. And honestly, things start to make so much more sense once you write them down, because your mind isn't spiraling anymore, right? You have the answers in front of you as to what you're thinking about. The best way to worry is not to worry in your mind, but to worry on an external source, like a paper or a phone or whatever it is. And then you'll realize that you are overanalyzing the situation, You are overthinking it. Because the fact of the matter is, and the harsh reality is that you can never overthink yourself into a better past. You can't overthink yourself into changing a situation that cannot be changed. You can't overthink yourself into the future, which you can't even see yet, right? What's the point in thinking about something that isn't even there yet? So another thing that I want you to remember is that you have to stay present in the moment. The best way to ground yourself is through gratitude. And this is just a mindfulness practice that I picked up on over the years, and it's helped me a lot because I used to be a very chronic overthinker. I mean, with every situation, with every person, I would constantly text my friends and be like, did I do something wrong or whatnot? And I'd always be in my head, and it would really cause a lot of issues in my friendships and relationships because I'd always be overthinking the littlest things. So here's how gratitude will help you stay grounded, stay calm, and just essentially bring so much peace to your mind and your nervous system so that you're not all over the place and in your head, because overthinking is very unproductive, right? It's very hard to control, but it's not helpful. Worry never helps anyone. So what I like to do is I like to think about at least 5 things that I'm thankful for in the moment. There is always something to give thanks to. There's always someone to give thanks to. So if I can find 5 things around me that I'm grateful for, that I can physically see with my eyes or feel, then I can feel grounded. I can feel connected to myself and to my heart, and it really just calms me down. So this is such a great tool for if you're just overthinking about the future, right? Because it's easy to. And especially if you set a lot of goals for yourself and if you set a lot of intentions for yourself and expectations, you will eventually end up overthinking. Like, especially for me as a senior in high school, I think it's so easy for especially kids my age and like anyone really to just overthink about, for example, college or jobs or whatever it is. Like, it's so easy to just be thinking and thinking and thinking, but it's never productive and it's never useful. The great thing about having an individual mind is that you have full control over your thoughts. You have full control over the things that you choose to tell yourself and the narratives that you choose to create about situations. So I'm going to give a scenario. Let's just say that you were talking to a friend and they texted you something and they just said your name, and your mind immediately jumps to the conclusion that they're mad at you or that you did something wrong, and then you start ruminating about what I did wrong or was I a bad friend? And you just start overthinking and overthinking. And this eventually just leads you to spiraling in the moment and just getting stressed out. And then let's say 2 hours later, your friend responds and they just want to ask you to dinner, or they want to ask you to hang out. And you calm down, and then you realize I was stressing out for nothing, which is really what happens majority of the time, is that we stress out about nothing. And we only just stress because we've been in situations before where people have let us down, or where situations have fallen apart. So now we just make these negative assumptions that just because it happened years ago or months ago, it means that this person is going to be mad at me now. And that's not a productive way of thinking. It's not a smart way of thinking. It's not a helpful way of thinking. So instead, let's shift that narrative into a more positive one. So if your friend texts you, why are we overthinking in a negative way? Why can't we just think to ourselves, oh my God, my friend texted me because they enjoy talking to me and they want to ask me a nice question. We can create positive narratives for ourselves. And even if the situation does end up being negative, let's just say they are upset with us, there's always a solution to the problem. I want you to never forget how intelligent you are. How many times have you solved so many problems that you didn't think you could solve? How many times have you dealt with situations that you didn't think that you could ever get out of, and you've done it, and you've done it again and again, and you are smarter than you think, so that there's always a way out. You can always reason with the person. There's always a solution. So there's no point in sitting there and wasting productive time with your mind overthinking. Another helpful tip is to occupy yourself with hobbies or doing things you love. So if you can't think of anything that you love to do, there are always websites and things that you can learn. For example, you can learn how to paint, you can read a book, you can work out, whatever makes you happy and whatever you feel like is creative and fun and gets your mind going and keeps your mind busy is a great way to get yourself to not overthink about little things, because then it gives you a peace of mind since you're doing something productive and you're doing something that makes you happy and that relaxes you, and that you're not just sitting alone in your room and just ruminating about thoughts. I hope this helps anyone who deals with this problem. And I want you to know it's perfectly normal, because we've all been there. We've all stressed ourselves out sometimes. But I just want you to know that you are much better than you think you are. You are much smarter than you think you are. And everything's going to be okay. Bye.